Hey everybody, Rorree here with the Totally Rorree channel. And I have another channeled message. All right, so first of all, definitely like, subscribe. If you like the messages that you receive here, please support the channel by just giving us a thumbs up. And definitely subscribe and ask others to come because, I do this and I do this because I love sharing. And I just love what I do. However, I've never really tried to really, promote the channel. I just kind of do what I do, put it out there. But I am told that I really need to promote the channel. And in order to even get into the algorithms for most platforms, you need at least 1,000 subscribers. And I do not have 1,000 subscribers. But with your help, if you subscribe and share, maybe I will get to that point where I can have some subscribers and then we can take things to another level with my sharing my gifts with you guys. So, all right, y'all. I have a follow-up to the Brian Laundrie case, and I got some channeled messages. I don't even know what day it was. Did I put a date? Okay, I did not put a date when I started this page for him, but I received messages for a few days, and so anyway, I know it was right before they found what they're saying is him, his remains. I got some messages right before that. I got some messages right after that. So anyway, I will update you guys on what I'm hearing. So anyway, I was like, okay, tomorrow is going to be my day when I sit in front of the camera and just get these videos done, and do some channeling or whatever. So what I like to do is channel a little bit of information beforehand and then come live and see whatever comes as I come live. And I'm gonna have to work on recording the messages as soon as I get them. That because I have a really busy life, that has not been happening thus far, but I'm working on that. Okay. So anyway, now, I was channeling. Now, as you can see, like I just washed my hair. My hair is like really wet right now. And I was not planning on doing any recordings this evening. However, while I was doing the channeling to do some of the prep work for tomorrow's recordings, I was just reviewing the messages that I received previously to see if they still stand and to see if there were any additional messages. And while I was in the middle of that, something really interesting happened. But first, let me back up. I forgot to do housekeeping. Okay. I'm an intuitive healer. They might call me a medical intuitive. I can't say that I always know what all the organs are in your body, but I might hear an organ. But I'll definitely know where the organ is, and I can see what it shows up like for me. And in addition to that, I can see if there's something going on with it and help you to release those energies and help you heal your body. So that's one thing. I'm intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient. I have a number of the clairs, and let's see, we have a community called Roses, Lavender, and Sage, and we also have a Sage Circle. And very soon we are opening up for our continuity program where you can work with me, not all the way one-on-one, but you will get a lot of individual attention from me. And I help people to improve their intuitive abilities, to know what they are and know how to use them and know how to live effectively with them. I've been intuitive all my life, and I did not know it until I know when I was in high school, I used to call myself Dear Abby, but that was more because There was a columnist named, it was a column called Dear Abby, and you would ask advice questions and she would give you answers. And I felt like that was who I was in high school, Dear Abby. And then it wasn't until 2000, the year 2000, that I recognized what my gifts were. And I started to learn how to use them and to live with them. And I went to an institute that taught me these things for 6 years. So I was like really in school learning how to hone my skills and abilities. So anyway, that's enough about me. If you dig back and scroll back through my channel, that is several years old, you can find some videos where I answer questions that people have about me. So anyway, enough of that. I have to say that this video is for educational purposes or entertainment purposes. And everything that I say, we're going to say it's alleged. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I hear from spirit. I am a medium. I do hear from spirit. I hear from spirits that have crossed over. I hear from ancestors. I hear from my higher selves. I hear from God. I hear from archangels. So I hear very clearly. I have been using some tools lately to validate what I hear and to sometimes get a little bit more. It's very interesting. So I use different tools and I teach my students how to use different tools as well. Not everything is for everybody, but so now let's fast forward. Had to do the housekeeping. So Brian, so I'm sitting there and I was just going over my questions that I had before. And then I noticed, because once you start, like the tool that I'm using right now is a pendulum, okay? And I use a board so that the pendulum, instead of just knowing yes and no, it could do a little bit more, right? It could spell things out for me. It's not a Ouija board, and I do not deal with nefarious entities. I can't even work with people that are dealing with like that. So I can direct you into how to release that if it is possible for you, but I cannot work with that directly anymore. So anyway, so that's a whole nother story. I'm sorry, I'm getting comfy here. Okay. All right, so I'm doing my little stuff, right? And then I noticed that the pendulum was moving a little differently. And then like sometimes, depending on who I'm talking to, okay? So sometimes the pendulum will stop after, like when I talk to Archangel Michael and he comes through and communicates with me this way, he stops after every word, so that and circles around a little bit so that I know that word is complete when he's spelling out a word. And what else does he do that's a little different? The way he formulates sentences is not always the way I would formulate a sentence. Kind of like, because I'm taking a Spanish class, and it's kind of like Spanish or something, like, or a different language. You know how sometimes you might describe after or something, or so I've noticed some of that, that the words are not actually in order. And sometimes the words are not words that I would use. So that's a little interesting. So it's kind of riddle-ish. Like I'm like putting a puzzle together, like, now what does this mean? So that's interesting for me. I know when I'm speaking with God, when she shows up, she says, "I am God Almighty," and so that's fun. And when I speak with some of the Orisha or some other deities, they just spell what their name is known by, or whatever. Sometimes when I've met some goddesses, and they will spell out, "I am goddess so and so." So that's interesting. So anyway, so that's kind of how this goes, right? And I have been practicing, so I kind of have a feel for who I'm talking to by how they say whatever they have to say, but I also ask, okay, so who am I talking to? And then they also kind of signal me when they have something to say to me, where if they want me to, if they want to spell it out. So that's interesting too, how that's working. It's interesting getting to know this tool and getting to know my collective, my beloveds, my higher selves, my beloveds that communicate with me. It's interesting getting to know them. Okay. And I work with these things with my students as well. So that's a lot of fun, helping them to understand and to know who they're talking to, so they can get to know their ancestors, so they can get to know who it is that they're talking to. Because oftentimes you'd hear, and then you think you know who you're hearing from, or you may hear the name or whatever. So anyway, I know I keep going all over the place, but there is a point. I'm sitting here and I was initially speaking with Archangel Michael. And then all of a sudden it was different. And I was like, what's going on? And I was just asking all the questions that I had asked before, but just trying to clarify so I could have everything crystal clear and see if there was any additions for this video that I was going to do tomorrow. And then the pendulum just stopped and it looked like it was having a really hard time. And I said, who am I talking to? And then it finally went to the B. And then it struggled to go to the R. And I said, is this Brian? And then it was easier to say yes. Okay. Because the letters are like really tiny and all over the place, and so are the numbers. And that's why sometimes I'm not really sure if a number that I got was correct, because they're so small and I'm just like, what number is that? So I might get numbers off sometimes. So anyway, so Brian shows up, right? And so I said, oh, okay, Brian, do you have something you want to say? And he said yes. And so we started talking, and it was really difficult for him to manipulate the pendulum. So I said, okay, I will try to formulate the questions so that they're just yes, no for you. So anyway, so before I get into my conversation with him, and then I decided, hey, let's just do this on camera, because I don't know where we're going, but let's do this on camera. So I was like, okay, let me just take my little head down and get in front of this camera. So let me read to you what I got, and then I'm going to allow Brian to talk. All right, so let's see. So, I had asked previously, when I knew that they were looking, they thought that they had found something. I feel like they found like a hut or something in the forest. And down there in Florida, they found like this hut, and it was all junky with all this debris. It looked a hot mess. And I don't recall what happened with that. I don't know if they found any of Brian's belongings in there. I really don't know. But I remember when they found it, I think I saw that on something, I don't know, a video or something, that they found this hut. And they thought maybe he was staying there. Okay. And I don't really feel he was staying there to make that big old mess, because I had gotten some dates that he, himself, well, he did this, to himself. I got some dates, and I don't think he could have made that big of a mess, because he's been gone a minute. Okay. And you would have to look at one of the first or second videos on this subject, because I don't remember what that date was that he did this to himself. Okay. All right. So I asked again, are the remains that, because I had asked before, is he there? Because I had received some information that said that he was somewhere totally different, not even in Florida. And, I'm like, so is that him? And I got no. Is the person that they're looking for that's out there that was in that hut him? No. Okay. And so then I hear that they found him, and they identified his remains. And I was like, okay. And so I asked, Are the remains that they found, are those the remains of Brian Laundrie? And I got no. I said, okay. Then I asked, now this is between the other day and today. So I kind of mixed the messages up. Okay. So I asked, does whoever examined the remains, now I was talk texting, so it's real special. So whoever examined the remains, I was asking, did they identify the remains that belonged to him? And does the person really believe that those are his remains? And I got yes. So I was thinking maybe it was something funky going on with whoever examined the remains. But then the messages get a little strange in here. So I'm still not saying that there's not something funky going on, because I really believe that it is. So, but somebody does think, whoever reported it or examined it or whatever, they think that that's, excuse me, Brian. Okay. And then I said, well, how is that possible? If, like, how do you, but hey, I don't know anything about forensics and stuff, and I watch enough shows to know that you can manipulate anything. Okay. So so how is that possible? Because I'm like, how is it possible that that is not him, but he has been identified, really, by like a coroner or somebody? Like, how is that possible? I don't even understand, how this is possible. And so he spelled out, mother bled on gimmick laundry clothes. And I was like, okay, so what you trying to say is, no, I'm joking. But so I was like, okay, so there must have been some article of clothing or something. I don't even understand. So the mother bled on it. I don't even understand that. Maybe she had to provide a sample of blood or something. Maybe they found some clothing somewhere, maybe the backpack. I have no idea. I don't know. I guess we have to listen more. Or maybe I'll have to channel. I don't really want to channel. I don't really want to read the mom because of her history with MK Ultra. I really don't want to get into her being, because most people who are victims of MK Ultra have alters, and I don't really want to mess with that. I don't want to get involved with her and her personalities or whatever the hell she got going on. So anyway, but that's what it said. Mother bled on gimmick laundry clothes. So I have a feeling that these were like fake clothes, like something planted. I was feeling that the backpack was planted. Is that in this set of questions? I'm gonna read these and then I'm gonna let y'all know what I was hearing. Okay. So anyway, did they make the match through the blood? I got yes. And then I asked, I believe they said they used dental records to identify the remains. Is that true? And I got no. So I'm like, what? And so is someone lying about that? And I got yes. Does the mother have access to people in high places? I got yes. Does the mother have a handler? I got yes. Does Brian have a handler? I got yes. Does Brian's handler know where he is? I got no. Is someone with power trying to end this story? I got yes. Are they making things up when they say that the body must have been in the water? I got yes. I asked, now let me see if I have any more about this. And if not, I'll tell you what I was hearing. Okay, All right, so let me go back so I don't lose my place. Okay, about the water. Okay, now I did get, and I don't know where those notes are, but I did get that the bag was planted. You know what? Let me find these notes because I had some dates too. Hold on one second. Okay, so I found my other notes. Yes. All right, so here we go. All right, so on the 22nd, this was the 22nd when I did receive this information. So there was a young man on YouTube, and I bumped into the video, and I try not to watch too many videos on this because I don't want somebody to say something and then it I feel like it tainted me or something. But when I do hear other people's information, I might bounce it off of the pendulum to just see, is this right? Is that right? Is this right? Is that right? And then I might see whatever I hear from whatever I'm hearing from another source. So there was a young man that was talking about Brian, and he said that he was looking at some letters that apparently have been found, and I screenshot the letters, and let me see. I mean, by now you guys have probably already seen the letters, but I will, let me find the letter real quick. Okay, so one letter says, please forgive me for all that has happened and all that I have put everyone through. I was too ashamed to tell Gabby's family what happened to her. I was too ashamed to tell anyone. I hope someday people can understand what really happened. Until we meet again someday, I love you forever. And then there is a B for his initial. Okay, so that was one. And then the next one is supposedly dated September the 18th. And it says, Mom and Dad, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for everything that has happened. I never wanted, it's so bad, wanted for any of this, I guess. Gabby and I are truly in love. I'm sorry. We're truly in love, and I would give anything for her to still be here. I know that no one will understand that things strongly got sincerely got out of hand. I think it's sincerely. Okay. The something at our relationship, the straw of our relationship was more than I could, the stress, I think. It's hard to read. The stress of the relationship was more than I could bear. I should have known to stay home after what happened in Moab. Everything was already a disaster at that point. Something made me return. But something made me return. Oh my gosh. Because this is a screenshot. And boy, it's special. Okay. Something about Gabby was something forever. I realized I was too. Once Gabby was gone forever, I realized I was too. When we went camping to Fort DeSoto, I wanted to tell you what really happened, but I couldn't bring myself to. Yeah. Okay. So I call bullshit. Okay. All right. That was some malarkey. Okay. So I heard immediately that that was BS. Okay. So I didn't even have to use a pendulum on that, but I did. Okay, so I asked, did Brian Laundrie write these letters? I got no. And I said, who wrote these letters that appear to be written by Brian Laundrie? And I got his mother. And then, and all of this is alleged, okay? Don't be beating me up. Okay. Are they going to say that it is inconclusive? Or okay, so I was just asking, like, are they really going to find out how this young man really passed? If that's him, what are they going to say? Are they going to say it's inconclusive or whatever? And I got, yeah, something like that. That it might be difficult to fully identify his remains. But then they came up and said they did with some dental records. But as you heard, I heard that that was poppycock. So I don't know. Who put Brian Laundrie's backpack in the forest? And I got his father. And then when did his father put Brian Laundrie's bag in the woods? Belongings in the woods. I asked, when did they put his belongings in the woods? And I got October 20th. Now, I don't know when they found him, so I'm going to say around. Around October 20th. Dates don't always come out correctly, you know, because of my eyeballs, and I don't always see it right. So I think it was on the 20th. Okay. That's what I think I was reading. Okay. Does Brian's mother and father think he is dead? I got no. Do they think he's hiding? I got yes. Where do they think he went to hide? I got Mexico. Was this the plan all along to make people think that he was in the forest? Yes. In what state is Brian's body in? California. Who put the body in the forest for them to find? Who put the body in the forest for them to find? Did his family put the body in the forest? And I don't think I asked that question. So I didn't, douse to get that answer. I forgot. My fault. Okay. The body that is in the forest that they found, is that a random person who died or something? Yes. So nobody planted the body there to make pretend it was Brian. Is that correct? Yes. So I don't know. All right. So let's see. What else we got here? I think that was all for that day for him. So now let's go back to this other set of notes from today. All right. So as I said, Brian showed up and I asked him, could he wait until we came down here so that I could record whatever he had to say. All right. So I asked, is Brian Laundrie still in Cajun Pass? Yes. That's where he is in California. Is that near the Days Inn that you previously mentioned? Yes. How far away is Brian located? About 6 miles east. And I asked these questions again. Well, I didn't ask this. This is what I was asking when he showed up. And I'm like, why is it not answering me? Like, what's going on? Like, did the animals move his body? Like, what's going on? And it just would stand still. It wouldn't move at all. And I could tell it was struggling. That's why I was like, who am I talking to? And that's when I got that it was Brian. So I don't have an answer to if his body is still 6 miles east of that Days Inn, but that's where the body was. I was asking, did they ever find the dark blue car that he was driving to get over there, and that it was just standing still. And I'm like, why are you not? And I'm hearing now he's talking to me that he was kind of surprised that I knew that. So it wasn't necessarily that he didn't know how to move the pendulum. And he's saying, well, that too. Um, okay, so I think he is ready to speak. I've already done my prayer work before I got started. I already asked permission from my collective, and I actually just went straight to God. God, do you want me to talk to him? Being that he showed up, because I know before I was asked not to channel him or Gabby. So by my collective. All right. And so let's do this. All right, Brian, you ready? He's already ready. He was already talking to me down here. All right. So, all right, Brian, do you want to say anything using the pendulum, or do you want me to just hear? He said, yes, I'll try. Oh, let me tell you what he did say earlier. I wrote down the pendulum stopped responding. I kind of knew that Brian had come in. He couldn't move the pendulum that well. Then I said, you know, God, is it okay that I communicate with him? Blah, 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 blah. And I used muscle testing because I just did not want to like mix up the energies with Brian trying to, you know, come through here. So I just, whatever. So I got a yes. And so I said, Brian, do you want to tell me something? He said, yes. I said, do you want me to ask yes, no questions? That might be easier for you. He said, yes. And then I heard him say that I'm sorry. And then I asked, is this true? Am I hearing you say that you're sorry? He said, yes. And then I was hearing him say, I just snapped. And then I asked him, is this true? Are you saying, you know, are you talking to me now saying that you just snapped? He said, yes. And then I said, you know what? Let's just go record. All right. So Brian, I can definitely hear you. But you said you wanted to use the pendulum as well. So if there is something you want to just share, you could go ahead. First, let me see if I can let y'all see. Oh, Lord, the pendulum. All right, so I have two dowsing. I have a dowsing cloth here that you can see, but I also have like a little one, a little pendulum, right? I'm not pendulum. I have a little board where I can just do some quick yes, no's or quick spelling where it doesn't have to go all over this mat right here, okay? All right, so anyway, all right, so Brian, so yes is here. So when you see it swing this way, it's yes. When you see it swing this way, just for you guys to see, it's no. All right. And then if it swings this way, it's maybe, or this way, it's rephrase. When I get a maybe, it's usually because I've asked a loaded question, and part of the answer is maybe correct, and part of it is maybe not, and it needs some clarification. So when it gets to the maybes, I kind of hear. So when I'm using this, I'm also hearing. So I'm hearing what's going on, and I'm hearing information. And what I hear, let me put my phone over here so it doesn't distract me. So what I hear, sometimes I'll run it by the pendulum to just get clarification or what have you. Okay, so wait a minute, let me put my what is all, okay, so this is my frankincense. I'm sorry, I don't usually show my little space, all my stuff down here. All right, and I got my aura light. Y'all remember this? My aura light. All right, so Brian, so I'm gonna stop the pendulum and let's get started. All right, so Brian, are you here with me? And are you here right now? Can you swing harder, please? Okay, so it's swinging yes. So Brian is here. All right. So Brian, I'm going to turn it around a little bit because it makes it easier for me to read letters. So right now, yes is this way and no is that way. Okay. All right. So Brian, can you just spell your first name for us so that we can just give you some practice spelling with this device? So it's going towards the B. All right. So this is the A, this is the B. So it's going towards the B. So that's a B. All righty. Now it's going towards the R. The R is right here. So it's going towards the R, B, R. So it's going towards the I. The I is up here. All right. And now it's going towards the A. The A is right here. All righty. And now it's going towards the N. The N is up there. All right, Brian. So thank you for joining us. And what is it that you would like to share about the incident or about anything that happened? Or do you want me to ask you questions? So do you want me to ask you questions or do you want to just share something? So either say ask or share. Ask is if you want me to ask you questions. S is if you want to just share something. Now the darn S and the A are opposite each other. So I think you're going to the S. Can you go to an H if you're saying share or, okay. All right. So he went there and then that way. Okay. So that's S and H. Okay. So he wants to share something. So Brian, go ahead and share. Sorry, I moved. I'm going to be so. Okay. And he's very nervous and I'm feeling sensations in both my hands, not just one. Usually I just feel sensations in one of my hands. I'm feeling in both my hands. And it's like a trembling. L is the next letter. And like a tense trembling. O. V. E. I love. E. D. I loved. Whew, wait a minute, I gotta take a breath. I loved. G. A. See, it circles around a little bit, and then it tries to go to the next letter. B. I'm sure you're about to say, I loved Gabby. Is this correct? He's saying yes. Okay. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so I'm feeling his energy and emotions at the same time. Okay, so Brian, hold on one second, and it's stress. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of stress in my arm. I'm feeling tension in my hands. I'm feeling like he's trembling. I feel like he had anxiety. I feel like anxiety was something that he suffered from time to time. Um, and hmm, I'm hearing the words paralytic. I don't know, and controlled. I'm feeling like he would feel like something else was controlling him. Sometimes he would feel paralyzed. Right now, my hand feels very strange. His energy is overwhelmed. He feels overwhelmed right now. He feels choked up in the throat. Like he wants to scream, like he wants to vomit. He does not feel good right now. He is upset. He's emotional. He's crying. It's trying to come out of me, but I'm trying to keep my composure so that I can keep going, because if I start crying for him, then I'm not going to be able to see. But he is crying. He is filled with emotion right now. Brian, are these your feelings? Is this what I'm feeling? He's saying yes. Can you swing harder? Yes. Right now, my body is trembling. I'm trembling. It's like I feel trembling all up in here. My hands don't feel quite right. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Okay. All right. So Brian, we know you loved Gabby. Okay. I don't think anybody is questioning that. Um, do you remember I'm just gonna let you share. Or would you like me to say what I was gonna ask? Maybe you know what yes. Okay. So earlier you said you snapped, correct? Is that correct? Yes. Do you feel like you were no longer in control of yourself? Do you remember what you did to Gabby? No. So do you recall um, seeing her no longer with us, no longer on the earth's plane? Do you recall seeing her? Yes. Did did you realize that you had done this to her? Yes. Did you plan on doing this to her? No. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just, clarifying for everyone. um, my everything is trembling in my body. I'm just, you guys. Woo. Okay, Brian. Um, did something Were you abused, Brian? Yes. Um, Did you know when you were with us that you were abused? When you were still here, when you were still alive, did you know that you had been abused? Yes. Okay. How old were you? What's your first memory of being abused? How old were you? I believe it's 20. Oh, wait a minute. One, please. Is one the first number? Yes. What's the second number, please? 5? 15? Yes. Okay. What kind of abuse did you sustain when you were 15? That's your first memory of being abused, correct? Okay. Um, what type of abuse? Okay. He's not answering yet. Do you, did anybody make you do things that you did not want to do? Yes. Well, what type of things did someone make you do that you did not want to do? Are you pointing to the D? Is that a D? No. Was it a C? Okay, so the first letter is a C. What's the next letter, please? H, I, L, D, R, E, N, children, K, I, L, and he's crying right now, y'all. L, is too much. E, D, children killed. Okay, hold up, y'all. Okay, children killed. Okay. M, O, T, H, E, R, mother. Children killed mother. Okay. I, N, T, H, E, in the, children killed mother in the, H, O, U, S, oh boy, E. Children killed mother in the house. He's saying yes. Okay. Okay, y'all, give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. One moment, Brian. Oh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. All right. Children killed mother in the house. Okay. Okay, he's very overwhelmed, exacerbated. I feel like I'm feeling all his energy right now. This is a lot. He's in and out of crying, and then he's trying not to cry to try not to make me cry so that we can keep going. And this is rough. So that sounds like I don't know. Sounds like some satanic crap. I do know, well, I shouldn't say I know. I did hear in one of the earlier sessions that he was a victim of MK Ultra, and that started at age 9. I do feel like I recall 9. So he may not remember this, or maybe I don't know what happens, excuse me, in the afterlife. Like, do you still have your altars in the afterlife? I have no idea. But oftentimes you develop alters or split personalities, different egos or whatever that show up. So whoever I'm talking to right now that's representing Brian in the afterlife, he is only remembering the abusive things that he must have participated in. It must have started at age 15 that this one that I'm talking to remembers. Okay, so I don't know that I ever clarified. Let me just make sure. Brian, are you alive? No. Oh, I'm not. Let me let y'all see. I'm sorry. Okay, so no is this way, yes is this way. Brian, are you alive? So he's saying no. Okay. No, it's this way, you guys. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. Because I could talk to somebody in spirit if they're still alive too. Okay. All right. So, this is something. All right. Let me just see what I hear because we'll be here till tomorrow if I do this with everything. All right. All right. So, Brian, so let me just see. He told me I don't want to see. So the things that he endured, it feels like I was made to do things. He said, shit. I don't know. He's saying I don't like to curse. Um, okay. So he was made to do things. He said he had to participate. He said he didn't have a choice. He said it didn't happen all the time. He said he remembers a few times. He said there are many things he didn't remember. He said he's starting to see things. He said that he knows that I'm right about the 9 years old thing. He said, but I don't know how I know you're right. So, Brian, I have a question. So, what set you off with Gabby? Like, what happened? What set you off? What led to you? You said snapping. What led to you snapping and, you know, taking Gabby off the Earth's plane? Can you answer that? Let me let y'all see. Okay. Can you answer that for me? He's saying yes. Okay. So what made you snap? S. And I'm sorry, I know y'all can't see the letters. Hell, I'm sitting in front of it. I barely can see it. Okay. S. H. E. She. And I'm starting to have pain in my hand. She. Is that a P? Are you pointing to the P? Okay. She, P. Uh-huh. I. S. S. E. D. Pissed. M. E. Piss me. O. Off. F. Okay, so she pissed me off. W. H E when. He's saying yes. Okay, she pissed me off when. S H E when she. And my hand's hurting really bad. And I'm having like tension and a little bit pain going down my hand to my wrist. Okay, when she. He's filled with anxiety. Is that an M? Wait a minute. When she. L? Is that an L? Okay, when she L. E F T when she left. M E when she left me. When she left me. Wait a minute, I'm gonna go to the middle. Okay, when she left me. Is that an O? Is that an O? Okay, he says no. Is that an N? Okay. What's the next letter? E. N E. What? I can't tell what. Can you swing harder to the letter? N E C? Wait a minute. Is that a C? N E D? N E B? I don't know what you're spelling, Brian. You want to just talk to me? Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Okay. She pissed me off when she left me. N-E. Do I have the N right? I don't even know. Okay, Brian. What is the word you're spelling? Okay, she pissed me off when she left me. Can we start that last word over again? Or can't, I don't know. When she left me what? Okay. It's either N or M. Which one is? Is it an M as in Mary? Okay, let's try the M now. M, what's the next letter? E. Wait a minute, I moved, I'm sorry. M-E. A. Excuse me. Wait a minute. M-E-A. When she left me, M-E-A. L. Meal. M-E-A-L. Is that M-E-A-L? Do I have that right? Okay. Mm-hmm. O. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh, is that an O or a P? It's like a P. Okay. Is that a P, Brian? Yes. Okay. Next letter, please. I. S. S. Are you saying pissed again? Okay, so I have a question. You did spell meal. Okay, so I did you guys have some issue at a restaurant? Okay, so is this the meal that you're talking about? No. All right. So I don't know what you're saying, Brian. You're saying something about, let me just see if I can hear you. Saying something about, hold on, let's, because I need a break anyway, because this is a lot. Okay. She pissed you off some kind of way. She left a meal. She left, what did she leave? Did she not leave you a meal? Did she, I don't understand. If y'all get it, let me know. Okay, let me see, Brian, if I can hear you. He's saying, I was just pissed. I was just pissed. He said it all just sounds stupid now. And then he said, and I just snapped. I just snapped. He must say things twice. Um, he said is something about the meal and camping, something about a meal. He says she messed it all up. I think he's just going through blame because he's not talking about she messed up the meal. I'm getting that she left to do something, but she left to do something while they were out there. So this was after he came back. She left to do something. And he didn't like that. She was getting on his nerves. He said he just has so much going on in his head. I don't know. But we're going to pick this up again at another time because I like to just release. And this was just a lot. And I really feel like I just want to release. And maybe, Brian, would you like to come back and talk to me again? Okay, so I heard he said yes, but let's see. Let's see what he says on pendulum. Let's see. Brian, would you like to come back and share with us again? Okay. And if people ask questions in the comment section, will you answer some of the questions? Okay. All right. And I'm hearing a lot. He's saying like people blame him. He knows he was wrong. He's just saying it's just messed up. It's just messed up. But he's not saying the word messed. He said, I wish this didn't happen to me. He's like punching himself in the leg. Like his hands are clenched. He's got a lot of anxiety in his body. He's having a rough time, which is understandable. But Brian, okay, so thank you for being here with us, Brian. Okay. And you're free to go. And I'm just gonna chat with you guys. When you are abused and you are a victim of like satanic ritual abuse and things of that nature, like I feel like Brian doesn't even know the depths of the abuse that he has endured. I don't even think he realizes everything. And it seems like he is remembering, but not everything. So I don't really know how this goes when you go over on the other side and you had altars. I don't know what that's like, you know? He is not at rest. He is still full of anxiety. It's like, really? Yeah, he is like when he's talking about it, like I feel tension all up in here. That's why I want to go do a healing on myself. I'm sure he probably had a therapist or something because he's so full of anxiety. I can't see him not possibly being on some kind of medication, or if not medication, he was self-medicating or something. I can't see him not doing that with the amount of anxiety that he feels. And it might just be as he is sharing this story or, you know, his truth, this is what he's feeling. I, you know, I don't like what he did. And I feel for both of the families, you know, but there's more going on here. This is very nefarious. Even what he had to deal with in his upbringing. And this is a hot mess, you know? So they both were victims, you know? And when you are a victim of satanic ritual abuse, you usually end up victimizing somebody else, you know? And I feel like that's what he does recall. I feel like he recalls being the victimizer at age 15. But he didn't appear to recall being the victim. That started a lot earlier when they started fracturing his spirit, you know? It really sucks, these people, you know? Ugh. So anyway, y'all, this was forever. My apologies. We have some serious channeling lined up. I mean, it's been a few. I keep getting messages and messages and messages, and I'm like, when am I gonna get to record all this? So we have a number of messages coming up. So definitely stay tuned. If you guys have questions for Brian about the incident or things that you want me to get clarification on, definitely ask me. Because sometimes when I am doing this, I'm not really in that frame of mind to be, drilling the questions, So if you have some questions, just type them in the description box, and on our next session, I will ask them. I might not always do this live because it takes forever. I ain't gonna lie. It does take a long time. And the fact that I can't tell all the time what letter it's going to, it's like, what are you saying? And sometimes I can't predict everything that you're gonna say. Because maybe I'm not hearing it because sometimes I hear what's coming. With him, I wasn't hearing everything. So anyway, y'all, this was some. If you were into this and following it, definitely do a little healing on yourself to release Brian's energy, okay? Because don't nobody want that. It was bad enough he had to deal with it, okay? All right. So that's it for tonight. I am definitely not doing another one tonight, but thank you guys who have tuned in, and you all will see me again very soon because I have a few more. I think I have like 4 different situations to tap into. All right, y'all. See you in the next one. Ashe, everybody. Peace.